Hi there, and welcome to my YouTube channel, Upcycle Adulting, where I am here to help you upcycle your real life into your best life by creating healthy habits, growing to accomplish your goals, and learning how to overcome obstacles. Today, we're going to be talking about why you can't stay motivated. And I'll be sharing exactly why you are struggling to get motivated or struggling to stay motivated in this week's vlog. So, around the third week in January, most people quit working on their goals. And the number one question is, why can't I stay motivated? And following closely behind that is usually something along the lines of, what's wrong with me? Here's the reality: nothing is wrong with you, and you aren't alone. Far from it. Around January 17th, most people completely lose motivation and quit working on their New Year's resolution altogether. Understanding how and why this happens just might be the very thing you need to push through this situation and continue on with your goals, regardless of your motivation level. Oh, and I'll also be sharing a big secret about what works way better. So, what is motivation, anyways? Most people would describe motivation as a feeling. They would say that it's a compulsion or a drive, or maybe even a feeling inspired to take, or maybe even feeling inspired to take action. But the truth is, it's not really a feeling at all. It's actually a hit of dopamine. Yes, that's right. It's dopamine that makes you feel fired up and unstoppable. This powerful little chemical is the biggest motivation for every action you take and is required for the very survival of our species. But lots of things can cause dopamine hit, and that's where motivation can get challenging. Just like you can get that dopamine boost from actively planning or working toward your goals, you can also get it from eating sugar, scrolling social media, and so much more. So, where does motivation come from? Notice that I said that dopamine hit from actively planning or working toward your goals. Yeah, you read that right. Many people think that they will get motivated and then take action. But the truth is that taking action is what creates motivation. So, if you don't take action, you won't be motivated. The action comes first. Now, why does motivation fade? Well, this is probably the biggest question. What happens to motivation? Why does it seem to fade and fizzle away? Why is motivation like a toxic lover, there 1 minute, gone the next, and you have no idea why? There are two big reasons for that. The first is hypermotivation. Oftentimes, when we first start out on our goals, we feel incredibly fired up. This also happens when we attend personal development conferences, master classes, etc. There's actually a formula that's taught to speakers to ensure that this happens, but that's a story for a different day. After a couple weeks, that motivation fades, and sometimes fast. You'll find yourself feeling stalled, overwhelmed, or in a funk. This is caused by what's known by psychologists as hypermotivation. That fired up feeling is actually caused by a flood of dopamine. This happens when we are super excited or scared, and sometimes when we're overtired. If you've ever been slap happy, you know what that feels like. When we experience that flood, you feel like you can conquer the world. We often make grandiose plans, and for a couple of weeks, we can even stick with them. But when we overproduce dopamine, our body feels dysregulated and responds by bringing new production to an almost screeching halt and soaking it up as quickly as possible. That leaves us dopamine starved. And well, dopamine starved equals stalled. No amount of force, self discipline, or willpower is going to change that. And by the time you could get back to it, you feel like such a failure, you don't know how. Essentially, the hypermotivation to motivation loss cycle is the same as having a sugar or caffeine crash midday. It takes a little bit longer, but it's a chemical thing. It's not a character flaw. The second reason is stagnation. So you've learned the hard way that going in hyper motivated, full steam ahead doesn't work and just leads to a crash. And you've changed your ways, but you're struggling. What's that about? Well, you've probably stagnated. You've built a tolerance in your dopamine cycle. Remember, the first cup of coffee you had likely made you feel jittery, but now a pot doesn't even seem to be enough to make you feel alert. You are stagnating because you become numb and you're just going through the motions. The things that used to be novel and make you feel successful no longer do so. So you aren't getting that dopamine boost from them. Thankfully, there's a simple solution to both of these issues. So, what does work better than motivation? Well, maybe it's really a motivation hack, not a full workaround, but whatever it is, it works to keep you on track. And it is so shockingly simple. Keep an accomplishment journal. Simply write 3 to 5 things you've accomplished every day before you go to bed. And when you're feeling stuck, read it. This will work to stave off hypermotivation because it will encourage you to look for small details and wins in your day rather than going in hard. In addition, it'll prevent stagnation because it'll keep you aware of your progress and success. An accomplishment journal is a surefire way to keep that dopamine flowing in a regulated and reliable way. And the best part is that even when life gets in the way, and you find that you're feeling tapped or pulled in too many other directions, the record of your successes will get you moving again. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel where I will be helping you upcycle your real life into your best life. And if you are looking for an awesome journal page to get you started, check out the link below in the comments. And for more support and guidance to achieve your goals, you might want to take a look at my Goal Mastery course. It is 100% guaranteed and based on neuroscience, behavior science, and psychology. It will absolutely get you over that hurdle, keep you fired up, and have you crushing your goals in no time at all. Bye, everyone.